I'm Des.
Hey y'all, I'm Sai.
And we're the co-hosts of Let's Talk Sis podcast, where we truly believe that together empowered women can transform their lives.
Join us for heartfelt stories, enlightening conversations, and a whole lot of accountability along the way. Hey y'all, we're back with another episode. I know y'all tired of hearing
it. That's why I'm like, hey, because now I'm tired of hearing it. We're going to figure it out.
Well, let me get my phone up the frame.
We got to do, but it got to be something that feels natural. Right now, hey is what, I guess.
That's not the problem.
Natural?
Last week it was, hey y'all, we're back with another episode. It's that part, not hey. It's the...
Oh, the whole sentence.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need a name for our sisters.
We do. We need a name for our tribe.
Yeah.
Help us come up with a name. But it's not just sisters, though. We have a decent amount of...
We need a name. Yeah, like you said, we need a name for our tribe.
For sure.
To bring it together. Okay. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Can we stop asking that in the beginning of the episode?
Why?
It's starting to feel like a therapy session. I don't like that. This is free, and I pay for my therapy session.
Okay.
I like to have those once a week and not twice.
Okay. I feel good, though.
You wanted to get that off your chest.
Mm-hmm. Today's episode.
What are we talking about?
I feel like we should talk about... I want to properly say this without... Because I feel like this topic entirely is ruffle up feathers every time. With dating or courting or any of that sort. But I want to dig deeper into like the intentions, I guess, behind courting or dating in today's time and age. So do you feel like... First of all...
Are you talking about your intentions?
Intentions, our intentions, my intentions, your intentions, overall, like broader intentions though, not, specifically. So, for instance, thought that came to my mind was the question, are we dating for love or legacy?
What are you dating for?
I'm not dating. But no, the thing, I want to say legacy.
I'm conflicted a little bit because you just said, went from, hold on, did y'all catch that? She just went from, I'm not dating with the hair.
No, I'm really not dating.
To,
let me stop doing stuff when I say stuff because then y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what she do when she lies.
If y'all ever want to know what she does when she lies, she licks her lips. Like, I'm talking about a full top bottom thing. That's like her thing.
Well, they would never catch that because I always got lip gloss on the podcast, so... There's that.
I just gave it up. She confirmed it. Anyways, okay, so you dating for legacy, you said?
Okay, yes, I'm dating for legacy. Just because...
When did this happen? Within the last few days? Like, when did this switch?
Well, I'm not dating, but I'm saying when I do get back into the dating, because you're trying to catch me up. When I do get back into the dating realm, I feel like...
When did you get out?
When did I get in? When have I been dating?
Okay, maybe I'm giving up too much tea, but go ahead.
Dating? Come on now.
I'm coming on now, and I'm being for real. You need to be for real with yourself.
Okay. So yeah, the conclusion I've come to though, and I will dig deeper into this, but I feel like love is not enough no more. Just love is not enough no more. I feel like just because I love you so much, or just because I feel as though I may be in love with you, or whatever these emotions are, I don't feel like that's enough to say, because I feel like in multiple episodes we talk about how delusional I can be and how I'm always, stretching stuff out and looking like, okay, is this going to be my husband? How are kids going to look? All that type of stuff. But I feel like reality is love is not enough. I can't just say, just because I love you so much, you're the person I want to be partnered and committed to for the rest of my everlasting life.
This is going to be a good episode. Let me get a little comfortable. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like just love is not enough. Like, it's so many more factors, and that's that was the question of love or legacy, because I feel like it's so many more factors that come into play with the person I see myself with. So I guess in all, my question to you is, do you feel like you're dating for love or legacy? And I have a few questions.
Before you ask me a question, can I ask you something based off of the point that you just said? Because we have this thing of like interrupting and interjecting,
Okay.
and then you'll interrupt me, and then my point will be lost, and then I'll never be able to comment.
Okay.
But y'all know that already. So when was love ever enough for you, and when did you arrive to this realization that it's not enough?
Because like, was love ever enough for me? Not really. But that's just, I guess, based on the type of person I am. That's just me personally. But I feel like overall, like, love was at a point enough. You don't think so? First of all, actually, love was at one point. If I think far back, there was a time when I've had a boyfriend and it was just for love. Like, okay, well, I be thinking I love somebody in the first 5 minutes, so I don't know. But
okay, so I think
it'd be like,
yeah. So how did
when I say just for love, I'm really meaning based on how you just emotionally feel about this person. That's what I'm saying.
But that's not what the basis of love is, and I feel like that's why you think it's insufficient. Like, love is so you not feel just like the emotion that you feel, which is typically either lusting or some sort of like enjoy. I think for me, and I know that we've had these conversations personally, if you can date back to every dating encounter you've had with someone who you possibly said you love, you can almost certain, at least 75-80% of them, it was not love. After the fact, you'd be like, that was something else.
No, so I can honestly say, I don't tell everybody I love them. Especially like people that I date or stuff like that. And the ones that I have told I love them, I genuinely love them. I still love them. So I'm not the one to say like, oh, I don't tell people I love them a lot. So when I tell people I love them, I love them. And I feel like when I love somebody, I'm going to always love them.
What is love? I'm confused.
I love you. I care about your well-being. I don't know. Actually, what is the definition of love? Let's actually dig deeper into that. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know because something in me is like itching. And the first thing that comes to my mind is like Bible verses. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is like all of those things.
Okay.
And then when we look at I guess our worldly interpretation of what love is, it doesn't align with like, what I feel like love is supposed to be. And I think that's why it's so hard, especially for our generation, to like connect. It talks about the perimeters of like love and legacy and things like that. I don't even think people are keen to the depth of all that love entails. Because like you said, if I had to date back, I could recall a moment where I loved people. Well, I loved people. Like I felt that I experienced that emotion of love. And I feel like going back to what I just said, I just feel like it's insufficient because we are associating love with just this one thing, which is an emotion that is fleeting and can be default.
That's the thing, though. I don't think love is fleeting. I feel like if you actually love somebody...
Love is not fleeting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because we are... I want to make sure I'm articulating myself properly. But basically, I feel like because our generation associates love with just an emotion, it is making it very hard for us to say whether or not we know that we love somebody or we don't, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
In a sense. I kind of get you. But I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. What our generation sees as love, and that's not the true meaning of love. I can agree with that.
But you also just said your definition of love was the emotion.
I said my definition. I actually said I don't know. Let's look up the definition. That's what I said. But I said I know. Like, I just feel like I know when I love somebody. Because like I said, when I feel like you love somebody.
But what is that feeling?
You're going to love them forever. Love.
What is that feeling?
I can't explain it.
What is
I can't
like
put it into words. No. But that's what I mean by for example, I said I don't tell a lot of people I love them. And the ones we were talking about dating, the few, very, very few people that I dated or whatever and told that I love them, I still feel that feeling. I still love them. I don't
But what
still
is the
feel
feeling?
butterflies.
Okay, but
there is no lust.
You could tell,
there
you
is
could
no
tell me
attraction.
everything that you don't and can't.
And
but
I
you
can't
don't.
tell
You
you
could
what
never
I do
tell
feel.
me. Yeah, you can never tell me what you know.
Yeah, me and my therapist was figuring that out. I got like a little will for me to like specifically figure that out. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. How do you know when you feel like you love somebody?
I don't know, because I don't want to be shallow or maybe deep and say I love everybody.
You should. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, and I genuinely feel
You
that.
should.
Because I feel like, and obviously I think this topic is about dating, so there's a different level of intimacy that goes into the type of love that we're talking about, right? A different type of connection, because the love that I have for my godchildren, my family, my friends, and the people I've dated previously is completely different, right? But in a nutshell, if I had to say, like, how do I know I love somebody? I love everybody. It's not one person on that I've encountered that I hate. I can say, oh my gosh, I hate them. Like, I really.
So you feel like if you don't love somebody, you have to hate them?
No, I don't think that. Well, actually, I do. Because it's either hot or cold, not lukewarm.
Everything in life isn't hot or cold or not lukewarm, though.
Everything in my life is. But we have two different experiences, two different perspectives. Like, I'm a very black or white type of girl.
So you feel like if you don't love somebody, you hate them?
Yeah. I feel like the emotions or the actions that's associated with outside of love is pretty much close to hate, for sure. Because I feel like for me, like, when people piss me off and when I experience strangers and stuff, like, things that just, like, piss me off in a moment. Like, when somebody cut me off in traffic, it really take a whole lot of love not to swerve over and follow that person to where they're going just to be able to throw a water bottle at them.
Love for yourself, love for God, or love for them?
Love for God for them. That's the only type of love that I can extend.
Love for God for them, meaning your love is for God, not them.
That's the purpose of my life. That's the only thing that keeps me rooted.
Exactly.
That's a part of.
So how can you?
And I think my responses also
them?
just mirror where I am in my life today. Also, because I feel like if you asked me this like 2 years ago, my response would have been very like shallow and just based off of like, I don't know.
It's not about it being shallow or not shallow, because we're talking about dating. But to start off by saying you love everybody, I guess there isn't really a question in what you're seeking for. So basically, since you love everybody, what do you seek for in dating?
So
or a lifetime partner?
To me saying I love everybody, that was like a preface to go into what is love. Like, we still haven't gotten to what love is. So you want to pull out your phone and look up the definition?
So the definition of love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I also said previously that there's this like worldly, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, we're talking about dating.
Yeah, but what is love in general? Like, how do you dive in or specify one avenue of something when you don't even know what the something or the substance is associated with it?
Love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Okay.
That you feel for everybody. Or you said that was a preface. So now that we know love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
I still love everybody. My response still stays the same.
No, I wasn't going to ask you the same question.
Okay.
We know that the definition of love is for an intense feeling of deep affection. So you're saying you love everybody. You have this intense feeling of deep affection for every single person that you don't hate, I'll assume. Meaning that obviously you've never dated for love, or you've never done anything for love because you love everybody. So what do you seek in dating?
I'm not seeking anything because I'm not dating.
What do you seek in dating? Meaning, like, do you see yourself having a lifetime partner? Do you see yourself having like a husband and somebody for life?
I don't know. It gets real.
Well, this is a whole other topic.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't see yourself ever getting married?
I don't think that there's so much pressure on like me getting married.
It's so funny how...
Because I think, like, I don't know. I think that's, like, there's pressure on me getting married and becoming a wife and having kids for some reason from, like, family and friends. Because all my friends have kids. And then my mom is like, where's my grandchild? And things like that. But, like, if I really had to isolate myself and quiet the noise, it's like, yeah, that would be nice, but it ain't no pressure, though. Like, I don't feel, like, alone or like
If it never happens, you'd be cool.
And this is me saying this now, obviously, with my experiences that I've lived up to this point. But right now, today, I can honestly and transparently say, if I had not to consider any of my loved ones' opinions that I actually value, right? Because that's the only way I feel like they're able to like leave an impression on me, because I actually care about their perspective, their input. But if I had to ignore all of that and literally just live my life, I don't see a partner in my life for the next marriage in my life for like the next few years.
So when have you come to this conclusion?
I feel like I've always been, I think that I've arrived at the point of being transparent, honest, and excluding everybody else's opinion, but I've always felt this way. I have these conversations all the time with my friends.
Because I was about to say, I remember a few episodes, actually in the beginning of this season specifically, we had a conversation very similar to this, and we also included the fact of like excluding others' opinions or outside noise about dating or getting married or having kids and stuff like that. And I very much vividly remember you saying that you were ready for a partner.
You said marriage. A partner, I feel like leads up to marriage, but I don't think that I'm ready to be like married. I'm ready to like have like a playmate, if that makes sense. But
it does not make sense. Explain further. Because
like I don't think that where I am in my career, where I am in my life, I can allot the time properly to show up and give that person 100% of me, or the better half of me, if that makes sense. So I'm interested in dating, and hopefully it will lead to something, but going into something, I'd rather just stay reserved and isolated like I've been doing, because I don't want to waste my time. Knowing that I'm intentionally going in with the preface of, I'm not giving this person my better half because I'm giving it to my career.
Yeah, I was asking, do you ever see yourself getting married? But you said you will be fine with not getting married. There's no pressure behind it. But in the same sentence, you said you will be ready for dating. So that's what I meant by, or what are you seeking for? I didn't mean by what are you looking for? I don't think that you are looking for anyone or looking for anything. But when I say, what are you seeking for? I mean, in terms of...
I'm not seeking for anything. Seeking means...
in terms of, you said you're ready for dating. So not seeking.
No, I'm not. I'm open to dating.
So you're open you're open to dating. Meaning for you to be open to dating, what are your intentions within dating?
A playmate. I'm confused.
What the hell is a playmate?
What wasn't clear?
What is that?
This is where I am today. If someone has enough common sense to be like, okay, this is where she is today. This is where I am today. This works and aligns for where we are today. Okay, cool. With the possibility and still maintaining a certain mind of open-mindedness that leads towards, okay, this could be more, but just not right now. That's exactly what a playmate is, from my perspective.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Google's definition of playmate is completely different. Okay, so with that being said, I feel like from the very beginning of this conversation, you kind of already took it off of what the original topic was and saying like the intentions behind dating. And I actually got the topic from a previous conversation we had, but now your entire perspective has changed. So
what perspective changed though?
Of when you said, I very vividly remember, I don't remember the title of the episode. I think it was the Are You Ever Ready episode. I don't remember, because I was watching it. I remember it was the episode you had on the dress and the curly hair. It was the beginning of the season. And it was probably like episode 2 or 3 or something. And you were saying, because I asked you, do you feel like you're ready? You would say you feel like you went through the works and you feel like you did this, that, and the third, but you said you feel like you are ready to get your track running started.
I think maybe
on
the
a lifetime meet
is the episode that you're referring to. Does ready ever exist?
I don't know if it was that episode, but I remember the conversation.
I think it was, because that was the conversation we had with Emily, and we talked about that on the podcast.
When you said, I remember the conversation that I'm referring to is when you specifically said you were ready for it. So, like I said, things have changed.
Things change,
overall,
change.
Every day. So overall, what I'm asking is, do you feel like, since you ended up talking about like our generation and stuff, and you saying people don't know the true definition of love. So do you feel like people are. So if people don't know the real definition of love, every dating and all that, what is the grounds of it if it's not love?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you, what do you feel? And then you looked it up and said a deep sense of affection. But honestly, I think it's a bunch of people just running around lusting and chasing a fairy tale. I remember on the previous episode, I don't remember what episode it was. It could have been Does Ready Ever Exist? But we were talking about like how there's this constant pursuit of something that's almost intangible. I feel like it keeps us on a hamster wheel towards like this perfect image of what love looks like in the movies and fairy tales, but reality-wise, I don't think that too many people that I see is on like a sincere pursuit of love, if that makes sense, in our generation at least. You know, there are some people who I feel like are model examples of like, okay, this works for them. Because I also think that maybe love is subjective. I don't know. I think you asking the wrong person.
I think so too.
Yeah. So what's your perspective?
What you mean love is subjective? Oh, like different people feel it means different things.
They would give you, I feel like if you ask 1,000 people, out of those 1,000 people, 800 of them would give you a different emotion maybe to explain. Because some people feel love when they feel provided for, a sense of security. Some people only feel loved when they feel or experience that just emotional security. So finances could play into it. So it's like so many different avenues. But from my perspective, I think that love is all of those things like tied up, out, even with the intangibles included. So
To be able to detect the moments when you realize or feel or think that you love somebody, like how you say it, like it's different, it could be different reasons or different actions to make you feel like you love somebody. I feel like that could be a whole different conversation because that's like a deeper thought to go into. But overall, Google's definition say love is an emotion, and being as though no emotion.
I thought it said that it was a
deep sense of
affection.
Emotion. What is it? Love is an intense feeling, yeah, a feeling of deep affection. Maybe I don't still love people. I be thinking I still love people. If that's the actual definition.
So what makes you think that you still love people, and now you're considering whether or not you love?
Because I don't have deep feelings of affection for these people. But when I feel like I love somebody, when I use the word love, I feel like I care about you. You hold a place in my heart. I value you.
I think your perspective of love, I don't know why this just popped in my mind. I could be completely wrong, but it has everything to do with like how you feel and not too much about like how the other person feels or how you feel about the other person. Because like, do you still love, like, talk? I don't know. I think that love is often just associated with like all the feel good emotions. I don't know, something about us, we just love to feel
sure ain't
good.
the feel good emotions.
But I think, go ahead.
You said you feel like love is based off of how I feel, but not how the person feels. That's what you just said, right?
How you feel about that person through, like my finished thought was, can you explain or elaborate more about like, what does love feel like? I don't know, how does it feel like you have to maintain love when you are at odds with somebody? Like what keeps you from like not betraying that person or not harming that person or like, you know?
Love. That's what I mean by like I value them. I care about the well-being. Because even in bad moments, even in the non-feel good moments, even in those moments, I don't think love is ever questioned if you actually love somebody. Or if I'm speaking about myself specifically, in bad moments and the non-feel good moments, I don't question. Now, I can know I don't like you right now. You're irritating me. You're getting on my nerves. I don't want to be around you. I actually don't want to talk to you ever again. I could love you from a distance. I could care about your well-being. I could still value you and all of those things without being in your presence. So I wouldn't say love is only connected to those feel good emotions, because when those emotions don't feel good, the love don't disappear. I still love you. But like you said, you could ask 1,000 people in a room for their definition of love, and I'm sure it'll be different. It may be subjective. I don't know. How can a word? I don't know. But as far as dating, as we started the conversation, or what the topic was even about, as far as dating, I feel like there has been a time that people seek lifetime partners, or feel like a lifetime partnership would last only on love. And that's what I mean by I say I don't think love is enough.
When I don't know when
When
was
was
that
love
time?
ever
Yeah,
enough?
like when was that time? Or can you give me an example
You
of
saying
maybe
when
like
was
a
love ever
public
enough?
relationship? Or yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be. I don't. How would I know that?
you said people, so maybe I thought you was making a general statement.
Well, yeah, it's a general statement that people were once. Well, I thought maybe it's because I thought that when people come together, when people are in a relationship or men intimate partnership, I thought it's based on love. But maybe this is why I'm single. So there's that as well. But I thought that the foundation of it is love. I may be wrong, or again, that may be another subjective topic. So for you, if it was never, you keep saying, when was it ever based on love? So if it was never based on love, from your point of view, what was it ever based off of?
I think it's very hard for me to connect with, I guess, the statement or the point that you're trying to make because of the original question, like, what is love? I think that my definition of love doesn't necessarily just align with like what you just read as the definition, just a deep sense of affection. I think when I look at it from the explanation of what love is, it's easier for me to connect and say, okay, this is how I know I love someone. But when I look at it from like that definition that you provided, it's like a deep sense of affection. That just seems like, I don't know, so shallow, so fleeting. I don't know. So it's very hard for me to like connect with your points.
Well, my question, I just said, you said you love everybody. So love, the word love, we're going to remove that entirely from my question, because I didn't ask you about love. You said that it was never based on love. You said, when was it ever? Give me an example. Okay, so we're going to remove love. I said, for you, from your point of view, if it was never based on love,
It was
we're
based off
removing
of
it.
security.
What was it? What type of security? Okay. What type of security?
Trust, respect, honesty, someone who values you, someone who provides space for me to feel understood. It's like so many different levels of security, emotional security, being able to show up as myself when I don't feel like I'm understood in the world. Being able to not have to be so much of who I am facing the world, especially given my profession. Financial security for sure. I don't know if there's a certain level of security that's associated with somebody being like a logical or just a certain level of competence. But I think that men honestly are logical beings, as we've said on many previous episodes. But I think that having a man's presence, whether it be like intimate or platonic, we can attest to how a sense of security physically or maybe like energetically you feel a man's presence. So that's a different level of security. Safety wise, the list honestly goes on. But I think that for me personally, if I had to apply my level of or my definition of what I define love to be, or why I've connected with people through dating experiences previously, and what has made one experience significant from the next as far as taking it serious, has been another level of security. Like, okay, this experience was this, but this, I don't know, this just feels like another level of security is being provided in this magnitude or capacity. For me personally. Because honestly, the moment that trust is broken, that means that it no longer feels like a safe place for me personally, and I'm no longer really interested, especially with someone who doesn't possess enough level of competence to be able to rebuild trust. So that would be my answer. But honestly, I want to shift this to like a more, I don't know, interesting perspective of really just diving into, I don't know if I want to talk about this. It's so crazy because I feel like on one of our most frequent episodes, we should have talked about this, but like, I think the more interesting argument would be trying to just figure out, and I feel like we already know the answer, but just diving into whether or not love is unconditional or not. I think that's where the disconnect is. When we look at, I don't know if that was Webster or Wikipedia or whatever, wherever you, or Siri, wherever you pulled that definition from, and then the standard and representation of like what I feel love is and how it's defined. Because everything I just listed was based off of security, and that was not unconditional love. So I think that'll be a more interesting point if you want to elaborate.
If I want to elaborate on what?
How do you feel about, like, do you feel like
Love is
you
unconditional?
love all of your, I guess, through all of your past dating experience? Because not every dating experience leads to a relationship, but in every previous relationship that you've been in or current, do you think that the love that you have for that person has been unconditional or conditional? The long pause is crazy.
Because it's like, I wouldn't say unconditional, only because to tie back into what I said about I can love you from a distance. So again, my past relationships that I told the person I love him, I love them, and I still feel that though. I still feel like I love them. So I guess that is unconditional. Because I feel like I would forever love them. I don't feel like that's something that, yeah, I feel like I do love them unconditionally.
You look like you're thinking really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do feel like I love them unconditionally though. Because to even say I still love them to this day, that it has to be unconditional. Because clearly the other feelings that I feel like would have had to, the other things that I feel like I would have had to still feel, I would, I guess, still be in a relationship or still be in a relationships. So although
The other things,
there
wait, I'm
isn't,
confused.
although what I'm saying, because you were saying like about the feel good emotion. So I'm saying although things aren't good and we don't work together as life partners and we not going to be together for the rest of our life and it don't work, we don't align, I still love you. So I guess in a sense that would be unconditional. Because again, I personally myself, I don't tell a lot of people I love them. And if I do say that I love you, I genuinely mean it. And I'm saying probably because I don't know what the rest of my life holds. But up until this day, I do know, like, I still love these people. So for me, it's unconditional. For me. I don't know. I guess for you, well, you love everybody. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this theory that men receive conditional love. So when you ask me that question in regards to like an intimate or dating or relationship or anything in that type of context, it's always going to be a sense of security. Like, I feel like a man, his presence, his attributions, like his whole existence provides security.
I agree.
Security in all of those other avenues, but I just feel like I would really have to love somebody with the love of God. Like, I would love a stranger if a man cannot provide a sense of security.
Well, I think
in that capacity.
That's kind of what you said. So I think that's probably where it's like, because you said you love everybody with the love of God, including strangers, because you said that's what something in traffic or something like that, that would be a stranger. So, I mean, would that not mean your love is unconditional? Because you love them.
I think that there's tiers to love. And I think that deep affection, I don't know. I don't want to say it only had to do something with intimacy, but I think that there's tiers to love, right? Because the way that I love a previous partner or my future partner, I feel like is going to be completely different than the way that the unconditional love that I've experienced for my godchildren. I don't have kids of my own, so I can only or my siblings. Like that sense of like, I need to protect them. I need to provide for them. Everything I do, like I would lay my life down for theirs. Like I'm willing to surrender this for them. So it's a different type of love. And them kids, they can't do nothing for me besides send me cute voice messages and just beg for, send me long Christmas lists like I'm Santa Claus. So the level of love that I have for my siblings and my godchildren is completely, the experience is completely different if I had to compare it to a man. And I feel like men have it hard because they have no other choice but to receive conditional love when we look at it from a surface level perspective, because man was put here to do something, right? But in hindsight, it's messed up for them. But for two, it also creates a different experience in which love is expressed, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree that there's tiers to love. 1,000%.
Like, even the way I love my mom and my grandma, it's like I could literally sit here and think about all that my mom has done for me and my eyes will tear up.
Yeah.
Like, there's a deep, like, admiration that is tied into the love that I have for her. Whereas though my godchildren, I watched them, like, come out the womb and grow into like toddlers. So it's like this investment. Like I feel invested in their life, not in their life like their day to day. Know how school is, but the fact that they are like they were created. I feel a sense of like investment in okay, this was a human. You know what I'm saying? That was birthed and like in their development process throughout life. Like, okay, I wonder what he's going to be like when he's a teenager, or how he's going to be when he get like little things about my godchildren. You know what I'm saying? So the thoughts, the perspective, the experiences, and the expressions are completely different for me in the ways that these different levels of love show up in my life.
That's a great point, actually, that love has tears. I definitely do
And
believe
when I
that
say
love
tears,
has tears. Even
I don't want to say tears like 1, 2, 3. I was just using tears as an example
exactly
because
what
I
you
can't compare. Like it's not a level
it's
1,
not a
2, and 3.
comparison.
It's not a comparison between the different forms of love.
But that's what I see. That's what I mean. I understand that because even when you said like, you gave a reference like, okay, for this person, I will lay my life down on the line. I'm not laying my life down on the line for those people. Those people I've dated that I said I still love. So there's that. Maybe it may be conditional.
There's that.
Because I'm not. So not even a thought actually. So I don't know. I need to do deeper research on love. Maybe I remember we read a book on this in book club. You remember?
Yeah, that book was really deep. Really deep. Maybe I have to read that later on down the line in my life. But I think that having more conversations like this is always interesting because for one, it's opinionated, and for two, it's subjective.
Yeah.
But also, I think us identifying the fact that love is different and it shows up differently allows us to stop having conversations about who gets fed first in the household. And little things like why does it matter who got their plate first, the husband or the kids? Like, why are we using that as a form of like a visual representation of like a equal yokes type of situation when it's not? You can't love your husband and your kids the same. And I don't have a husband, so I'm going to say boyfriend. I don't want to speak out of context. Correct me. If y'all married and you're successfully married, I'm not sure what a successful marriage looks like. I'm assuming that's a couple that knows how to problem solve efficiently and effectively. But if you're in a healthy marriage, please correct me if I'm wrong. Can you love your children and your partner the same? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm very much single and very much no children. So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many other shallow-ass conversations around the same topic that try to highlight the significance of who means more in the house. And my mom told me,
those conversations.
But that's based off of comparing love because we don't really, I feel like we as a whole don't really understand what love embodies. So we can't like plug and pull like, okay, this is the type of love that we can't what's the word?
Compartmentalize?
Yeah, that word. We can't do that for the different types of love we have because we think that love is love, right? And period. And then everything around it just has to be one and the same. And it doesn't work like that.
So I have a question. I'm asking you this question simply because I want to say, I guess a more detailed in the Bible. In the Bible, anywhere, does it state that, like, any order of love, like God first, then your spouse, then your children, or like in order? Is that listed in the Bible?
It's so crazy because I wanted to make this a whole different episode. It doesn't list the order. It does define what love is, right? But I wanted to make this a whole different like conversation once I had more context on it. But singleness, like talking about singleness, right? And I think that this will answer your question. If not, it's worth going down the rabbit hole. But in the Bible, it talks about how it's better for us to be single than it is to be married, right? If we lack self-control. And also, we always often hear like, he who finds a good thing finds a wife, right? And then it's another scripture that
finds a wife
finds a good thing. Yeah, sorry, I put that backwards. And then there's another scripture that says that basically man should leave his family, his mom, his dad, right, his original family, and become one with a wife,
partner.
with his partner. So using context clues and really just studying the word within this last week or two, I've come to the realization that there is a hierarchy. Because when you and your husband become one, you guys are supposed to serve God as one together. Mm-hmm. So there's not God and my husband type of thing. You're supposed to submit unto your husband who is submitted unto God, the Lord. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the hierarchy from that perspective, to answer your question, yes, the Bible does give us biblical instructions or directions, I should say, on what it looks like to structure our love.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But I think that my point of mentioning that is because I think that's where a lot of those, and many of which are very, very surface level, all, if not all. But I feel like that's where a lot of those arguments and debates come in, even with the ones where it's questioning like, oh, your dad or your husband or those type of things. I think that's where they come from because there is a law within marriage of, like you said, a hierarchy.
Yeah, I don't understand
when you become one with this person.
Honestly. Especially between the mom and the dad and the in-laws and things like that.
All of that.
But I think that when you look at the word from a biblical context, it says that we are better to stay single than to be married unless we lack self-control, right? And when you look at why it says that, it says because when you have a partner, and mind you, I'm paraphrasing. If y'all want the context, the scriptures and everything, I'll share my notes with y'all. Just DM me. But when you look at the why the word says it's better for us to be single, is because it says that a partner is a distraction or can be a distraction. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about being equally yoked, a lot of times people think it's like, oh, 50-50 or I do this or you do this and whatever the case may be. But a yoke is a physical representation of two things being binded together and carrying the load of something. Mm-hmm. That's what a yoke is. Yeah. When we look at cattle, they're yoked together to carry a heavy load, right? So when we look at it from that perspective, if you're yoked to this person, right, and he's going left or you're going left or whatever, but the objective or the flagpole is straight ahead, then that means that this person could be distracting you or taking you away. What happens when you're yoked is you're like this. If this person goes left, you have to go slightly left as well. Yeah. And I think it's the same thing, not just for marriages, but also for friendships and the people that you decide to surround yourself with. Exactly.
I agree. And I think we can make that another conversation or another episode topic, whichever. But overall, to wrap this up, I guess the end all of the beginning question is that we, again, need to introduce someone else probably into this topic because since neither of us are dating and neither of us are looking for anything, the question of intentions of dating, I guess, leaves
I think that question would have been better off proposed if it was what should you be dating? What do you feel like we should be dating?
That's what I asked you. You said security. I did ask
No,
you.
you asked me what have I dated for previously.
No, I
Or
said
in
so.
general.
Well, because I feel like I said, neither of us are dating. So to say which should you be dating for?
You, not you, as in like.
Yeah,
the
but
mess.
but to ask what should you be dating for?
Going into your next situation, what are you dating for? Like, what are some things that you'll be looking, like, what's on your radar? Like, what are some things you're bobbing and weaving? Like, oh, not negotiable. I'm not, like, what does that look like for you?
I haven't even thought about dating, so I'm not really sure. I didn't think about that. Moving forward, I guess. I mean, I have non-negotiables and things of that sort, but in all, the intentions of dating, I personally feel like is for marriage one day, sometime. But overall, you have advice for a sister?
You go first.
I went first last episode. I don't know. You can go first.
Well, until she figures it out, y'all, don't forget to tune in.
You don't have advice?
Not right now.
Okay, so I guess we'll skip out on advice. Go ahead.
Okay.
Finish your tag.
I forgot where I left off.
Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on any Audible platform, be sure to download and save our podcast as one of your favorite podcasts. So you'll be updated on every new episode we post. You'll have first dibs on notifications, and you'll be notified when there's an episode coming of like the specific date and time of posting. So yeah.
I think my word of advice, I actually just remembered it. I think my word of advice would be to be the bigger person and don't succumb to like any circumstance or experiencing that you could be experiencing, I guess, or going through in that current moment. I know sometimes that it takes a lot of might, but I think that is definitely worth it. And then, so be the bigger person.
That's good. Shop with us, www.dearsisterletstalk.com, and use our code DSPOD to get your discount of whichever it might be. So yeah, toodles.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast, Let's Talk Sis, with Des and Sa.
Stay connected by following us on all of your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget, use hashtag DearSisterLet'sTalk to find us.
Wait, before you go, head over to our website or our Instagram and join our interactive community for a daily dose of sisterhood, where like-minded women fellowship, encourage, and create a safe space amongst one another.
See you inside, sis.
Toodles.
Bye.